What's up, it's Marco back on This Week in Soccer, the weekly show where I talk about all things US men's national team. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Some transfer news is starting to go down, and a lot of guys are getting back into playing. So to start things off, I want to talk about some transfers. No completed deals this week, but we got a lot of news to talk about. On the Venezia front, we got even more news as Erik Palmer-Brown has been linked with them. Of course, it's a pretty good move for him. I mean, getting some playing time in the Serie A, that's definitely a good thing. He did pretty well in the Austrian Bundesliga last year. I've heard that the City Football Group want him to stay in their system, maybe go to somewhere like Girona or maybe even New York City FC. But yeah, this move to Venezia, that would definitely be very good. They're bringing in a lot of American players, so they better not get relegated. But yeah, that could definitely be a good move for him. Next guy is Owen Otasowie. He recently turned down a contract offer from Wolves. This is due to interest from Wolfsburg and Anderlecht. They both seem interested in him. Bryan Skyarletta is reporting this, and those are two teams that are reported on him being interested in before. So I definitely could see this being possible. And yeah, definitely a good move for him because I don't think he's going to get playing time at Wolves and didn't look likely to get loaned out either, which I feel like could have been good for him. But with João Moutinho, Ruben Neves, Dendoncker can play in there, Vitinha, and guys they're bringing in, I mean, playing time's going to be tough for him to get, so him moving on somewhere like Wolfsburg, where I feel like it's more of a possibility for him to play, or Anderlecht, could definitely be a good move for him. Going to have to keep updated on that, but it seems like his time at Wolves could be coming to an end. Next, we got a trio of strikers to talk about, starting with Josh Sargent. He scored twice today, or last week in the Bundesliga, and he's still been linked with the move to Bayer Leverkusen. This is by Bundesliga News. I definitely see him leaving Bremen. I mean, he's probably at a level above them at the moment in the Bundesliga too. And Leverkusen, they definitely seem interested in him. This move's been reported on a couple of times. And I recently saw a video by where it said Bremen's old scouting director moved to Leverkusen. So maybe they have a bit of a connection there. So yeah, I could definitely see Leverkusen make a move for Josh Sargent, and Bremen, I feel like they're in a position to sell. Next, Matthew Hoppe. This reported by Grant Wall. Arsenal and Everton are being linked with him. That goes into addition with Tottenham, Wolves, and Southampton were linked with him before. I feel like there was another one too. But yeah, he just keeps getting linked with a move to the Premier League, and just the club that he goes to is kind of up in the air at the moment. It definitely seems like he's going to move on. Hasn't even reported back to Schalke yet, so definitely expecting to see Matthew Hoppe get a move. Next, Ricardo Pepe. He signed a 5-year contract with FC Dallas, though it seems like it's just to make Dallas more money when a move does come. Think Coutinho did this just before he left Liverpool. Man, is Coutinho's at Barcelona, but man, that career fell off fast. But yes, I just expect Ricardo Pepe to feel like this is them preparing for Ricardo Pepe to move on. Next piece of news is Reggie Cannon is possibly heading to Nice. The source of this one is a possibly drunk Gianluca Busio. So take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, hey, alcohol reveals secrets, you know? This is what it is. And then John Brooks is giving out information on the Delta wrong John Brooks. Okay, next on to guys who I feel like it's news to talk about if they don't have news. Chris Richards. He played in the second half as Bayern Munich lost 3-0 to Napoli. He was in the game for all 3 goals. But he did appear to, something about his pace. He was doing really well against the Napoli striker, Victor. I'm forgetting his last. Victor Osimhen, I want to say. He was doing really well competing with him, though. So even if they conceded goals, that was a good sign. But I really don't see him playing at Bayern this year. But Bavarian Football Works is reporting that Hoffenheim won him back, but Bayern still haven't made a decision on him. And I think Richards probably wants to go back at this point. Bayern, I mean, they definitely want to keep him as a depth player because, he is a solid guy, but just, short term would be good to have him there, but long term, I think it's better for him to get playing time. But you look at a club like Bayern, and Lewandowski's not getting any younger, and, man, Muller, Neuer, they are in a win-now mode. So if they want to keep Richards, that's their decision, so he's going to have to make a call, see if he wants to request anything or if he wants to stay there. So, yeah, that's Chris Richards' situation right now. Another center back, Matt Miazga. He recently played with Chelsea's U23 team against, I think, Working. I think they lost, too. But yeah, I can't see him staying. If he's playing with the U23s, he's probably gone. I mean, and he definitely needs playing time because after Miles Robinson's performance in the Gold Cup, I'm looking at John Brooks, Mark Mckenzie, Chris Richards, Robinson, and even some other guys. And Matt Miazga's going down the depth chart, so he definitely needs some playing time. But I still don't see him linked with anybody. Like, and I can pull out a link with any like Owen Otasowie. Before even these moves, we had those rumors. Anthony Robinson's got some rumors. Like, everybody has some. Like, he has nothing. Like, no clubs are interested in him at the moment, so that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, he's definitely not going to be playing with Chelsea this year, I'll tell you that. Next, Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's still being linked with a move. It seems like Newcastle and Celtic are the teams now. The only thing I can find is that it's going to be a permanent move. He's not going to just be loaned out again. And he's still playing in friendlies for Tottenham. So if not everybody's back yet, I could see him, I don't know, maybe playing in the League Cup. That's about it. Next, Antonee Robinson. He's still playing for Fulham in friendlies. He could get loaned out as like, when teams get relegated and their wage bill goes up, or the wage bill stays the same but their budget goes down. Andy Robinson, he might just get loaned out for a year. Bordeaux is interested in that. He might get transferred out, but the longer he stays at Fulham, the likelier it is that nothing happens. And then Gianluca Busio's transfer is still not finalized. I feel like it's been done for 2 or 3 weeks now, but still hasn't been announced. Okay, next in news with guys for playing time and what position they'll be playing. Christian Pulisic has been playing some wingback for Chelsea. I mean, playing wingback, that's definitely not his preferred position. He's not going to be playing that in the national team, but hey, any playing time's good playing time, and especially with how defensive or how offensive Chelsea can be. If you have if the team set up like a Ben Chilwell as a left wing back, Reece James as a right center back, that wouldn't be too defensive. You'd probably have a guy like Kai Havertz play more inside, so I don't think it'd be that defensive, and it's not too much of a position change, but it's definitely him not in his strongest spot. Though, I mean, if that gets him on the Chelsea field, that gets him on the Chelsea field. He also spoke about mental health. I feel like that's a good thing, because I was speaking on this earlier when I was talking about who's ready for a transfer. Like, man, make that move to Europe is tough, so you got to be ready for that. Next, Sergiño Dest. He played a left back for Barcelona in a recent friendly. I feel like that kind of brings truth to that article I brought up last week about him being the starting right back and the backup to Jordi Alba. So I feel like that's definitely good news for Dest. Barcelona definitely high on him. Next, for Ethan Horvath, all of Nottingham Forest friendlies have been cancelled. There'll probably be one rescheduled, but we can't know his standing at the club until the season starts. So. And he might not get a chance to prove himself. I mean, training's, there, but, goalkeepers train separately from managers, so he's probably going to go with Samba until Horvath really makes his presence known. I mean, there are going to be League Cup games earlier, and maybe Samba makes a mistake, but I feel like this makes it a bit tougher for Ethan Horvath. Next, Tim Ream. Still mentioning him, but he's probably going to be starting for Fulham again after Joachim Andersen left for Crystal Palace. And I feel like it's good to keep in mind that Tim Ream's a good championship defender. He's gotten Fulham promoted 2 times. So, I mean, that's a pretty good level. In CONCACAF, Jamaica's starting center backs, they're championship level. So, I think Michael Hector's his teammate. But, I feel like I just wanted to mention, he's a solid enough player. And the fact that we don't really want him in the team, that's a good thing that shows how far we've come, because, man, a few years ago, Matt Miazga being a starting championship defender, that was huge for us, so I just want to mention that because of that. Next, Bryan Reynolds. The Roma press is reporting that Roma has rejected loan offers for Reynolds, and Football Italia says that he will be staying in the team ahead of Italy national Florenzi. I'm not sure if that's due to wages or if just Mourinho rates him higher, but that's definitely good news. He's still going to be the backup to Rick Karsdorp, but he's been starting over him in recent friendlies, so him playing is definitely an option. And Bryan Reynolds, got to keep an eye on him. And playing with Jose Mourinho, I mean, he's not the best at developing players, but the guys that he does like, they get a lot better. He was doing great work with Diego Costa. He was playing really well with him. Willian had some of his best. Eden Hazard was at some of his best, so that's something to keep in mind. Next, Tyler Boyd. He has been playing for Besiktas recently in friendlies, and according to Photomac, this is only in Turkish, so it's translated, but his coach does want him to stay. So Tyler Boyd does look like he's going to be staying at Besiktas. And next, Zack Steffen. He's still playing for Man City in friendlies. He did today, and Ederson still hasn't seen the field, so he's taking his time getting back. Ederson's definitely the starter, but I guess now there's a chance you might see Zack Steffen in the Community Shield, which, hey, it's something. Could be another trophy. On injury news, we only got good updates this week. Yunus Musa, his injury isn't as bad as I initially thought, and the Athletics reporting it's a 3 to 6 week ankle injury, and I wasn't sure if it was somewhere else in the knee, but ankle injuries suck, but you can get back from them. And Giovanni Reina's already back from his injury. Yeah, pretty sure he scored in a friendly for Dortmund this week. He scored, and also American Leonard Maloney scored for them as well. So, maybe keep an eye out for Maloney. I mean, we're going to be watching Dortmund anyway, so keep an eye for him on the bench. Then for actual results this week, Tim Weah played the last 15 minutes as Lille won the French Community Shield. It's something called, Tournament Trophy, or I don't know. It's the French Community Shield, and another trophy for Tim Weah and Lille, and he's still playing for them. Still behind Jonathan David in that team, but good to see Tim Weah playing. Next, Brenden Aaronson got an assist for Salzburg as they won 7-1. It looks like they'll be able to dominate the Austrian Bundesliga again. Mark Mckenzie started for Genk, but he actually conceded 4 goals, and he was dropped for the Champions League match today, so that's pretty disappointing. DeAndre Yedlin, he played for Galatasaray in their second leg as they were knocked out of the Champions League by PSV, so he's now part of the Europa League. Over in the MLS, Caden Clark picked up an assist, but New York lost after conceding 2 goals after he was subbed off. Though that just seems to be a New York thing, not really them taking off Clark. Bill Hamid kept another clean sheet for DC, and I feel like Bill Hamid is probably our clear 4th best keeper at the moment, in my opinion at least. But the keeper situation got a lot worse as David Ochoa, he's officially switching over to Mexico, so yeah, we saw that coming, but it's still disappointing because he's probably one of our top prospects as a young goalkeeper, and now our top 3 of Steffen, Turner, Ethan Horvath, they're all 26, 27, and there really isn't an up-and-comer at the moment. I mean, JT Mertanowski's good, but I don't see him surpassing any of those 3. Chitaro Dunze, CJ Dos Santos, they might seem like our best bet until somebody in the MLS breaks out. You could check out some of the college prospects, the video I made a while ago, so just throwing it out there. I know you haven't because there's only 3 views. Lastly, U.S. women's team lost in the semifinals of the Olympics. It is disappointing, but they still have a chance to get a bronze medal, and this loss doesn't really sound any alarm bells. I mean, the team was old, we already knew that, and it lost to Canada, so I don't think it's a problem with the system. So, if we had lost to the Netherlands, I feel like that'd be okay, maybe, the academy system's really starting to catch up, because, the women on our team, they still go through college, they don't have, a real academy system, so that's not the greatest situation. It still might be a bit pay to play, and speaking of that, the NWSL is still behind a paywall, so yep, I definitely want to fix that, because no, I'm not paying for Paramount Plus. I might have to with the Serie A, but man, that's still annoying. So, I mean, maybe there's something bad coming, but we got to see how the new generation does before any alarm bells sound. I mean, we lost to Canada, and they have the same system as us. I mean, they had 4 of their players were still in college. One of them was on Michigan, I remember that. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks that they lost, but it's just the end of a generation. It's more like something like the Netherlands not qualifying for the World Cup because just they relied too much on older players. Again, no alarm bells sound, but yeah, it sucks. Hopefully they'll be able to get the bronze medal. Yeah, that's all I've talked about this week. Yeah, definitely a good week with all those moves happening. Hoping that some of them pan out soon. I mean, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Matt Miazga have been in there for a while, so yeah, hoping to get some of those moves done. Yeah, it was a great week this week with the Gold Cup win. Yeah, that's all I've talked about. See you.